29 grams of protein in a single seed. Beef gives you 21. And this bean grows on your kitchen sill in 5 minutes of tending a day. My grandfather grew a whole winter of food on a shelf like that, and almost nobody in this country plants it anymore. There is a reason for that, and it is not the reason you think. Stay with me, because the honest math on this one will make you angry. I want you to picture it plain: a green planter box on a sunny sill, a bamboo stake leaning in the corner, a vine climbing it slow, and off that one vine, off that one root, you get tender leaves, you cook down like spinach, you get crisp, four-sided pods, you snap off and eat like a green bean. You get the seed itself that beats a cow ounce for ounce, and down under the soil you get a starchy tuber with more protein than a potato. 4 foods, 1 plant, 1 handful of seed that cost you about $4. Now here is the other side of that math. A tub of protein powder runs you $40. A pound of ground beef runs $8. A plant-based patty at the store runs $9 a pound. And the folks who make it built a company worth billions on that number. And the plant that beats all of them has been sitting in a science journal the whole time, called a future superfood in plain print in the year 2020, while you paid every week at the register for less. My name is Elias Yoder. I am Amish, and I farm in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. And I am going to be honest with you the way I always am. I do not grow this bean myself. It does not much care for our winters up here, and I will not stand in front of you and pretend it is some old Amish secret passed down in my barn loft. It is not. It comes out of the tropics, out of Sri Lanka and Papua New Guinea, off the windowsills of women who never paid $1 for the seed because they saved it from the year before, and the year before that, back into a memory that has no year on it. But the way of it, the growing and the saving and the feeding a family off a shelf, that is the same way my people have kept for 300 years. And that is why I set it down. I gathered all of this, every plant and every jar, into a book. It is at eliasoder.com. The link is below, and I will not bring it up again after this. What I would rather do is tell you plain what that bold title really means and where it stops, because there is honest work here and there is a limit to it, and I would want a body to be straight with me on both. So let me tell you why it works, because once you see the why, the rest of it makes sense in your hands. Your body runs on protein, and protein is built out of little blocks the scientists call amino acids. There are 9 of them your body cannot make on its own, so you have to eat them. Meat has all 9 in one bite, and that is the whole reason folks think you need meat. But here is the part they quit teaching somewhere around 1985. A legume, a bean, or a lentil, or a pea is heavy in the block called lysine. A grain, your wheat or your rice, is heavy in a different block called methionine. Put a bean and a grain in the same bowl, and between the 2 of them, you have all 9. A nutrition textbook calls that a complete protein. Your great-grandmother just called it supper. Now this winged bean, the proper name is a mouthful, Sophocarpus tetragonalobus, but the winged bean does something most beans do not. The seed itself runs about 29.5 grams of protein in 100 grams, and by dry weight, the 2020 review put it at 35% protein. Lean beef comes in around 21. So seed for seed, this little bean beats the cow. And it does it without a pasture, without a fence, without a truck to haul feed off a box on your sill. And the leaf is its own kind of wonder. That same review measured vitamin A in the winged bean leaf, running as high as 20,000 international units in 100 grams. Read that again. 20,000 units of vitamin A in a leaf you grew on your windowsill, plus the vitamin C, plus the iron, cooked down into your evening broth. That is a multivitamin that grew itself out of dirt and light and asked you for nothing. Let me give you the parts list, because it is short and it is cheap, and that is the point. You need a deep planter box, deeper than most, because that tuber wants room to run. You need a bamboo stake or any straight stick for the vine to climb. You need a sunny window, and it wants to face south if you have got one, because this plant loves the warm. You need a packet of winged bean seed from any specialty seed supplier, about $4, and you need water and light and about 5 minutes of your day. That is the whole of it. There is no fertilizer on that list, and I will tell you why in a minute, because it is one of the prettiest tricks the plant has. Now, I will tell it slow, the way my grandfather told me things, because the growing is simple, but there are 2 or 3 places folks get it wrong. First, you soak your seed overnight in warm water before it ever touches soil. That coat is hard, and a soak wakes it up. Second, you plant it about an inch down in that deep box, 1 seed to a good handful of soil, and you set your stake in right then, at planting, not later, because if you wait, you will drive it straight through the young root and never know you did it. Third, you put the box in that south window and you keep the soil damp, not soaked, just damp, and you wait. It comes up in a week or 2, and once it takes hold, it climbs fast. And here is the part most folks get wrong. They wait for the pods. Do not wait for the pods. The moment that vine has a good run of leaf on it, you start cutting the tender leaf tips, a few every few days, the way you would cut basil, and it will hand you greens for a month before a single pod ever sets. Cut. Wait a week, cut again. You are eating off it before it ever looks like it is done. Then come the pods, 4-sided and green, and you snap them off at 3 or 4 inches long and eat them fresh, crisper than a green bean off the store shelf and higher in protein than any of them. Let some of those pods go all the way, and they dry into the seed, the 29-gram seed, and you keep a handful of that back in a glass jar on a shelf, labeled in pencil on a strip of tape with the variety and the year, and that jar is next year's crop, and it cost you nothing. And if you let one plant run a full season in that deep box, dig down at the end, and there is your tuber, starchy and mildly sweet, and you boil it right alongside the leaves and the pods off the very same plant. And now I will pay off what I promised. The reason there was no fertilizer on that list, because it is the prettiest trick the plant has. A legume does not just take from the soil, it feeds it. Down at the roots of that bean there are little bacteria that pull nitrogen straight out of the air and hand it into the dirt. And nitrogen is the very thing a bag of fertilizer sells you. So the bean fertilizes its own box for free, and better than free, because whatever you plant in that box next season, a tomato, a pepper, an herb, eats what the bean left behind and grows fat on it without a bag. Back in 1913, a pair of Germans figured out how to pull that same nitrogen out of the air with pressure and heat and put it in a sack. And a whole industry was born selling farmers by the bag what a bean gives away by the root. It was easier. I will grant them that. It also cost money every single year forever, and it stripped the life out of the soil that made the old rotation work. Grow your bean, follow it with a fruit, and repeat. The plant paid the fertilizer bill before you ever got one. Now, while you wait on that vine, I want to give you the fast one, because a windowsill should feed you this week, not just this season. Take a wide-mouth mason jar, a square of cheesecloth, and a rubber band. Put in a handful of dry beans, mung or lentil, and cover them with water overnight. In the morning, you drain them through the cloth, and you rinse them twice a day, morning and night, and you prop the jar at an angle on a wooden shelf so it drains. In 3 to 5 days, that jar is full of crisp sprouts. Lentils will go in 2 days flat and keep their nutty bite. A pound of dry mung is about $4. A pound of ground beef is $8. And the government's own nutrient tables say the protein per dollar is not even close. Before I go on, I want to say one thing, and then I will get right back to it. My wife, Esther, and I keep a little community of folks doing exactly this, saving seed and keeping jars and getting free of the register a little at a time. If you want to sit in on it and ask the 2 of us your questions, the link is down in the description. That is all. Back to the work. Now the safety word, plainly, because this matters, and I will not skip it to sound cheerful. Sprouts are food, but they are raw, and raw legumes want cooking. You do not eat your mung and your lentil sprouts straight out of the jar by the bowlful. You rinse them clean twice a day in a clean jar, and when they are ready, you cook them hard, 2 minutes in a hot pan, and then they are supper. The winged bean seed and the tuber, you cook those too. Always, never raw. Because a raw legume carries what they call anti-nutrients, things that sit heavy and keep your body from taking up the good in the bean. Heat undoes all of it. 5 minutes in a hot pan and it is gone. And if you are pregnant, or your immune system is not what it once was, you cook them harder still. And if you are unsure, you ask your own doctor, because I am a farmer and not yours. There was a stretch back in the 1990s when some sprouts off dirty commercial warehouses made folks sick, and half the country got scared off the jar for good. It was never the jar, it was the filth in the warehouse. A clean jar on a clean shelf, rinsed twice a day, cooked in a hot pan, that is, food. And it was food for 3,000 years before anybody built a warehouse. Now let me tell you what this will do and what it will not do, because a title is a loud thing and the truth is a quieter one. It will beat beef on protein, seed for seed, that is honest and the numbers hold. It will feed you 4 ways off one plant. It will save you real money, and I will show you that math in a breath. What it will not do is fill your freezer the first month. That vine takes a season to give you the full run of leaf and pod and seed and tuber, and your first year you will make mistakes. I promise you that, because I made them too. The sprout jar feeds you this week. The vine feeds you this year and every year after. Do not let a man tell you a windowsill replaces a farm. It does not. What it does is take the grocery store off its throne, one shelf at a time, so it is no longer the only place your protein comes from. Here is the honest math. A packet of winged bean seed, $4, and you save your own seed after that, so it is $4 once, and pennies forever. A pound of dry lentils runs about $1.79 at any grocery in the country. A pound of that plant-based patty, last I saw the case in town, was $8.29. That is the same amino acids, near enough, at 5 times the price. And the difference is not the protein. The difference is the processing and the package and the story they tell you on the front of it. Nobody in the world makes a 5 times markup on a $2 bag of lentils sitting quiet on a shelf. And that, right there, is the whole reason you never heard of any of this. Let me sit in that a moment, because it is the part that matters most. There is a great deal of money in a patty you buy again every week. There is a great deal of money in a tub of powder, in a bag of seed you have to buy fresh every spring because they bred it, so the seed you save grows back scrambled. There is no money at all. None. In a jar of seed, a woman saved herself, and a bean that feeds her 4 ways for free. So the simple old way sits quiet, and the loud new way gets the shelf at eye level, and the advertisement and the syllabus. The Green Revolution, back in the late 1960s, poured billions of dollars into wheat and rice and corn, crops you can ship and sell and trade on a market, and the winged bean, which is savable and plantable and household-sized and hands you 4 foods, got a rounding error. There was no money in you knowing. Now, I do not call that a conspiracy. Nobody sat down in a dark room and voted to hide a bean from you. It is worse than that, and quieter. It is just that money flows where money is, like water downhill, and a crop with no market has no lobby, and a crop with no lobby gets called underutilized in a journal and forgotten in the field. That review in 2020 used that word, underutilized, 14 times. Underutilized is the polite way of saying the market did not want it, so nobody ever put it in your hand. That is not on you, friend. They are good at selling, and they were never selling this. So here is what I want you to do this week, and I want you to pick one. Just one, not all of it. Tonight, take 1 clean mason jar off your shelf. Put a handful of whatever beans or lentils you have in the pantry right now under water, and set it by the sink. Rinse it in the morning and rinse it at night. In 4 or 5 days, you have supper, and you have proved the whole thing to yourself for the price of a handful of beans. That is the first step, and it is the smallest one, and it works. Then, if you want the real prize, order 1 packet of wing bean seed this week, and put a deep planter on your sunniest sill. And take one more empty jar, label a strip of tape with this year on it, and start it as your seed jar, so that next spring you are not buying, you are planting what you kept. Tell me down in the comments what county you live in and how old your house is, because I like to know who I am talking to. And tell me this too. Did your grandparents keep a jar on the counter or a box on the sill, and what did they grow? I read every single one, and the one that gets the most folks talking is the one I build next. Your granddad knew every bit of this. Somebody just never got the chance to pass it down to you, and now it is yours again, so do not let it die with you. Next time we are going down into the root cellar for a $2 pantry staple your great-grandmother pulled off the shelf every Sunday that a federal advisory quietly warned folks off of, and that a Harvard man put right back on the list a few years ago. One jar, one shelf, one thing they hoped you would forget. Stay on the ridge with me. There is more coming, and it is the good kind of stubborn. The people who built this country with their hands knew things we are only just starting to remember.